This is Doofy McButterscotch, and we've returned to Peter O'Toole. The Bible in the beginning. Well, this is, of course, about the Bible, and a little known fact about Doofy McButterscotch is I have actually read the entire Bible from beginning to end, not skipping a single word. But anyway, the Bible in the beginning is about the very beginning of it. And it does a half-decent job. I mean, they cover most of the main things. They leave a few things out, of course, because you can't put every single detail in a movie. It's kind of like the Harry Potter thing. They put most of the stuff in there, but they did leave a few things out, so don't expect everything. It's a pretty accurate representation of what the Bible has to offer, and as you can tell, in the beginning, does all that, and it's different from a lot of other films because it doesn't really have a main character. It's got a whole slew of different characters, and so I thought it was pretty good. I had gotten through the first part of the Bible when I got to this, so I could get it somewhat, so I give it a thumbs up. Caligula. Well, this one is a far stretch from the Bible in the beginning, because that movie is like a G-rated thing that everyone can watch. Caligula is so different from that. And Peter O'Toole does not really have that big of a part in here, but if you don't know about Caligula, it's pretty different in a very weird and graphic and sexual way. And yeah, it's similar to Last Tango in Paris, but it's not that bad. I thought it was going to be way, way, way worse than it was, but by no means is it a great movie. No way in hell is it that. It's not as horrible as everyone says it is, but it's still pretty bad. But I did get the censored version, so that might be playing a factor. But anyway, it's got Malcolm McDowell as Caligula, and it's basically a Roman piece, but it's got a lot of sexual depravity, and it's got a lot of gross shit in it. It's got this sex room where people are walking on stilts with erections, and it's got a whole bunch of women who are just all naked in a pool, and usually that would be a turn on. You'd be like, yeah, naked bitches in a pool. Sign me up. But it's done in a despicable kind of way. They all look sad and depressed, and they all look like they're about to get killed if they do anything bad, and it just turns everybody off. It is not a sexy scene at all. This is not a sexy movie at all. You have to be sick and twisted to get turned on by anything in this movie, because it's all, and the real Caligula in history was a shit ton worse than what he was shown in this movie. In this movie, he was a really bad douchebag, but in real life, he was a special kind of douchebag where there's not even a way to define how much of an asshole he was. It's not even in the dictionary. They don't even have a listing for people that bad in the dictionary. But anyway, the movie itself doesn't really have that great of a plot. I mean, it's basically Caligula, and he has Tiberius killed, which is played by Peter O'Toole, which is just an angry, wicked, horrible old guy with sores all over his face. You don't want to see the guy survive, and he's horrible, and he's disgusting, and you want to see him die immediately. And Caligula seems halfway decent at the beginning, then he starts his rule, and then he turns into a major shitbag and starts killing his own people, and there's this one weird apprentice guy who's like innocent and everything and just gets killed at the end, and it's just a hard movie to like,
And of course Caligula gets killed at the end, and everybody probably claps for that because he's such a prick. So Caligula is a different movie. I would not suggest it to anyone at all because it's not the greatest movie. It's not the worst movie at all. We're still getting to that. There's still so many other horrible movies out there, but Caligula is definitely among the worst. But not near the center of the worst, towards the outer atmosphere. Anyway, enough shitting on about Caligula. The Lion in Winter. Now this is basically a story about rich people back in the day, which hasn't really changed much. I mean, it's like a soap opera. I mean, rich people today, a rich family, generally, they all pretend to like each other in the public, but they actually hate each other's guts behind closed doors, and it basically shows that in The Lion in Winter. It's set in like 1700s England or something along those lines. Maybe I'm off by like 100 so years, I don't know. It's around that time frame, before guns existed, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's just a real twisted family relation. Everyone hates each other. They're trying to figure out who's going to succeed the king, and the king is played by Peter O'Toole. His wife hates him. His children hate him. He hates his children. Some of them pretend to like him. Some of the children hate their mother. Some of the children pretend to like their mother when they really hate their mother. And it is a vortex of hatred. And I mean, if you're in a somewhat decent family, I mean, you're just gonna be like, holy shit, I'm so happy I'm not that family. Jeez, I don't know what I'd do if I was in that family. There's just so much hatred thrown around in The Lion in Winter. It's every character hates everyone. No, they're all playing their own game, and there's another weird ass twist where there's like a prince from some other fucking place who pretends to be gay to win over another one of the brothers, and there's a ridiculous scene where two people get into a room and they start talking, then a third person comes along and one person hides behind a curtain, and then a fourth person comes in, and the third person that comes in hides somewhere else, not knowing about the second person that was in there. So there's actually 4 people in the room, but only 2 people talking, and they're talking about a whole bunch of betrayal and bullshit and weird shit, and it's ridiculous in a really, really sad, monotone way. So if you want to, like, feel better about yourself, watch Lion in Winter and see how shitty other people's families are. Because I assure you there are other rich families out there that are just like this. They still exist. They have not went extinct. Anyway, wow, I spent a lot of time talking about Caligula and Lion in Winter. I thought I was going to get through with Peter O'Toole, but I did not. I sure as hell did not. It looks like he's going to have a part 3. Anyway, see you later.